Hey everybody, welcome to the Summer 2019 Style Masterclass. This is the ultimate guide to finding the best jeans of your life. As always, these masterclasses are meant to go more in depth on a topic than I could either do either in my podcast or in a Q&A session, and really help you learn to buy clothes better, learn to make the most of your investment in both the capsule and just when you are out shopping. I really want you to understand how to buy clothes. And jeans are a huge thing. So that's why we're doing this. As always, this webinar is a bonus to your capsule subscription purchase. So if you did not purchase the capsule subscription, this webinar is not for you. So please don't share it with people. I have this vision of these becoming webinars that I do. So it's not for sharing, end of story. So this is available to you till August 31st. When the fall guide comes out, this one retires, but I think that denim was really important to cover in summer to get you ready for fall. With this webinar, I recommend grabbing a paper, tablet and a pencil and taking some notes. I am gonna put a guide in there. It's the free guide for the Everyday Style Guide to Denim. So it's not gonna be as built out. There's a lot of stuff I didn't include because this is obviously a high value thing for you guys. So I'm going to put that in there. It's going to have some of the information, but I really recommend taking notes. And, when I talk about like how to find the right pockets for your butt, think about what kind of pocket you need for your butt and write that down because that's going to help a lot. So let's dive in. Okay. Welcome. Sort of did that already. Let's move on. What we are covering today is how to buy jeans. How to buy jeans. We are talking about how to find the right rise. We are talking about how to pick the right colors. We are talking about what to look for when you go to a store and there's a pair of jeans sitting on that shelf, how to know if it's for you or not. That's what we're talking about today. We are giving you the knowledge that you need to pick great jeans. What we are not covering today is where to buy great jeans. Because, by the way, this is the number one question I get asked. So if you have asked it, or this is a question you're hoping me to answer, you're not alone. But here's the deal. It is not like there is one store that sells great jeans for everybody, and then the rest of them are just crap. If there was one store that you could go to, why wouldn't you go there? Everyone would go there. No one else would sell jeans if there was one store that had great jeans. The best jeans are found in a store that has the right jeans for your body, your butt, your budget, your style, your lifestyle. Those are factors I can't answer today. So we're not covering that. We are also not covering the best jeans for your body shape. I got a whole podcast, don't know if you know this or not, and it covers all the body shapes. Episodes 2 through 6 are where you need to start. If you don't know how to dress your shape, that's where you should start. So I'm not covering it today because there is a pretty darn good resource for that, if I do say so myself. All right, why did I choose to do a whole webinar dedicated to one piece of clothing? That seems like a lot to talk about. But let's talk about the importance of great jeans. All right, so you know that I am a casual wardrobe stylist, right? I specialize in everyday style, just everyday casual clothes. Jeans are the number one most important piece in that casual wardrobe. They are also the number one piece that women get wrong. And so we have the most important piece being the piece that people get the most wrong, and that is a really terrible combination. So I am out to solve that. This webinar is probably the closest most of you will come to actually being in a fitting room with me, having me help you buy jeans. So I wanted to share with you the knowledge that I have gained over 20 years of dressing women, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bodies and butts and jeans coming together to find the perfect ones. I've learned a lot and I'm going to share it with you. So if you can't come work with me in Minneapolis, that's cool. This is going to be the closest thing you're going to get to having a stylist in the fitting room who actually knows what she's doing. So why are we doing this? Because jeans are super important, because most people are getting them wrong, because everybody needs a little help in figuring out how to buy the best jeans. And if you can't work with me in person, that's why we're doing this. So I may use examples today from both the Everyday Style Lounge and from the Capsule Community. And if I call anyone out for having bad jeans, I'm not doing it personally or specifically. It's just something that I see a ton. I say all the time that shoes define your style, and that is absolutely true. However, your bottoms really say whether your outfit looks polished or not, right? They really have a huge impact on whether you look like Jennifer Aniston in jeans and a t-shirt. She's always got jeans that fit great. Or if you look like a sloppy mess and jeans and a t-shirt like you just rolled out of bed, which is, most of us want the Jennifer Aniston, we end up at the other. And that's why jeans are so important to get you closer. All the time when people post pictures in the Style Lounge or the Capsule Community, I see cute outfits, I see great tops, I see cute shoes, and then the whole thing is lost with the fit of the pants. And since jeans are, you know, you can take a lot of this information and apply it to other things, you know, to other bottoms, to your ponte pants, to your trousers, whatever. But I want you guys to nail the jeans, which is, again, why we're talking about it in summer going into fall. Okay, let's just dive in. Ready? Here goes. Number one, find the right fit for your body shape. Now, some of you listening, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying this again. But you have to remember that not everybody hears me say everything. So if you've heard me say this for the last 7 years, well, then you can just chill for a second and, you know, text your friends. However, this is the most important part to finding great jeans. And I personally am shocked in 2019 how many women are still saying, well, I still get a gap in the back. I get a gap in the back of my pants. I don't understand why I have all this extra fabric right here. Oh my God, we have been making jeans for different body shapes for more than 10 years. This is not a new concept. It's not a new trend. It is where you start. It is number one. I put it number one for a reason, because if you don't have this, the rest of it doesn't matter. And this one thing really takes about 50% of the jean buying angst out of it. So find the right fit for your body shape. What do these words mean? Curvy versus modern or straight. Curvy is not talking about a size. Here we have a size 6 curvy. Curvy is talking about the fact that your waist is much smaller than your hips, thighs, rear, right? You have a curvy bottom half. Modern, there is no word for a straight figure, but modern is the most used. But what it really means is that it is cut straighter through the waist, hip, and thigh. So if you are somebody that does not have a well-defined waist, you don't have bigger hips, you are just kind of straight, you would look for a straight cut, which is usually called modern. They don't call it straight. I wish there was another word for it, but a lot of times it is called modern. So that's what those two words mean. Now, how do you know which one you are? Again, I kind of just told you, but if you get the gap in the back, you are curvy. If you have a tough time finding jeans that fit you in the waist without getting extra fabric at the rear, you need a straighter cut, AKA modern. But what does the rest of this mean? I can't tell you how many times I've been in a mall with somebody and they say, I can't be curvy and straight, or how can it be a curvy skinny? That's crazy. Well, it actually can be a curvy skinny because those two words are not mutually exclusive and have nothing to do with each other. But curvy straight, that sounds like a bit of an oxymoron. The first word on a jean label is what's happening through the top. So we're talking about what's happening through the top of the jean, from the waist to the hip, curvy. The second word is what's happening down below, the leg shape, straight. That's how you can have a curvy straight. So the top one is a straight leg jean for a curvy body. The bottom one is a straight leg jean for a modern, AKA straight figured person. Does that make sense? So that's how you read a jean label. What's happening on the top? What's happening on the bottom? All right. Every brand's definition of curvy or straight is a little different. So some brands are extremely curvy. Some curvy brands are very, very curvy. Some, modern cuts are very, very straight. Some modern cuts are actually kind of curvy. I would say that clothes are cut for an hour tangle, a woman who has a little bit of curve through her waist, but not a lot. Now, that obviously isn't going to fit everybody, but you're going to find modern jeans with varying degrees of that curve on top and curvy jeans with a varying degree of curve. So if you try a curvy jean and you say, I still got the gap in the back, Jennifer doesn't know what she's talking about. No, absolutely Jennifer knows what she's talking about. You just don't have a curvy enough jean yet, or it needs to be tailored, but that's the deal. So every brand is different, which is again why I can't tell you where to buy jeans, because sometimes The Ann Taylor jeans are so straight through the waist and hips that they just make me cry with joy. Other seasons and other cuts are curvy, slightly curvy, even though they're modern. So there you go. Every jean's a little different. Let's move on. What if the label doesn't describe the fit? All right, so these are two pairs of my jeans. You're gonna get a really intimate look at a lot of my pants today. Hope you enjoy. These are two pairs of skinny jeans. This is a J. Crew skinny. That's what it says inside. This is a Lucky Brand Lolita skinny. They are both a size 10. That's what they are. And nothing gives you an idea of how they fit except this. Do you see how this front waistband dips down and is very curvy, and how this one does not dip very much and is a little more straight, or shall we say modern? This is how you know how a jean is cut. You lay it out completely flat, and the more of the front waistband dips down, right, the more of the label in the back of the jean you can see, because this is dipping down, the curvier the jean is. The straighter across and the closer together the front and the back waistband lay, so you can't even really see this little carrot tag right here. That is a straight body. Straight waistband, straight body, curvy waistband, curvy body. Bigger dip for bigger hips, right? No dip, no hips. That's how you can at least see before you take jeans into a fitting room if they're the right cut for your body. Or if you don't know if it, like Levi's 501, what does that mean? I don't know. You can lay them out and look, right? And the curvier you are, the curvier your waistband should be. The straighter you are, the straighter your waistband will be. Yeah, here's another fun trick. You can also tell if a jean is going to fit you in the waist. You pick this up and you wrap it around your waist, and if the ends are around your neck, you pick this up, wrap it around your neck, and if these little ends right here meet at the back, it will fit around your waist. It works like 99% of the time. My daughter was horrified when I did that to her in Hollister the other day, but I didn't have to take in like 4 pairs of jeans to find the right size. I had a starting point. This is what we use as a starting point. A big part of why I do these webinars is to help you not do needle in a haystack shopping. I want you to walk around the floor and determine if a piece is right for you. Is this the right cut of jean for me? Does this have the right waistband? All that kind of stuff before you go into the fitting room, because once you go in the fitting room, you should be checking size. You should be, determining rise, what's best on your body, but you should get a lot of this stuff out early, right? Before you ever take off your pants and shoes and start trying stuff on. All right, let's talk about wrinkles. This is always a question that people ask. Why do I have these weird wrinkles? These are totally different wrinkles, and let me explain. And by the way, everybody gets some wrinkling. The goal is for minimal. Everybody has some though. This kind of wrinkle, and I should have blown it up even bigger, but this is actually an inverted wrinkle, and it means that it is too small. Wherever these inverted wrinkles are happening is an area where it is too small. So I can tell this jean actually really fits her well through here. The waistband's not buckling or pinching or anything. It fits fine, but this jean does not have, the width of the thigh is not right for her body. So that she needs to find a jean, maybe the same, maybe a different style that has more room in the thigh, whatever. But an inverted wrinkle where it goes in and actually sits closer to your body, that means that area is too small. As opposed to these folds, these outward wrinkles where they hang outward, these mean that this is too big. So while this might be fine through the rear end, this is telling me she needs a narrower thigh. So someone asked in my Q&A about the Denim, what did these wrinkles mean, and should I just try a different, do I need butt lift technology? Am I doomed? I don't know the way your wrinkles are going, but that's what they mean. And you can try a different leg shape. You can try, different brand, all that kind of stuff. But that's what the wrinkles mean. If you are in jeans that are the wrong fit for your body, you're going to get one of these two kinds of wrinkles. The other thing that's going to happen when you have jeans that are the wrong fit for your body is that you're going to go up a full size, which most women are not looking for, funny enough. Most women want to go down a size. If you have a curvy body and you are wearing this one, which is cut very straight through the hip, what you're going to have to do is go up a full size to fit your hips there, and then you're going to have this extra in the back. However, if you have a straight body and you're putting these on, you are going to have to go up a size to get this waistband to fit you, and then you're going to have all this extra. You're going to have folds like this through the hip and thigh and crotch, right? These outward folds. So that's the first thing that happens, that you have to go up a size to when you're not wearing the right fit, and you get these really, really weird wrinkles. Okay, so there you go. That's that. Now, a part of jean fitting that I don't talk about a lot, but really can make a big difference is the yoke. The yoke of the jean is this little section right here, ending in this seam, so you can see I've pointed to it. The straighter the yoke is, the straighter the butt of the jean, right? The more V'd a yoke is, the more roomy or curvy the butt of the jean is. So if you have a very curvy butt, do not buy a jean with a straight yoke. So all these others, like, I don't know, wide yoke, sweetheart, forget those. I want you to focus on these two straight and V-shaped yokes. This jean, this J. Crew, is one of my best fitting, and the yoke is so straight across it, so straight. And I have figured that that's one of the reasons that I love this jean, is that it has that really straight yoke. Now, one way you can use this, a lot of women who, there are women who are rectangles from the front. If you're looking from straight on, they're very rectangular and straight, right? So they don't have much of a hip, they don't have a big curve at the waist, whatever. But then they turn to the side and they got a booty. So what do you do in that? Because if they go to curvy, they get that, you know, it doesn't fit quite right. And if they're in straight, it doesn't fit either. Finding a modern cut jean that is cut through the hip and thigh, more up, straight up and down, with a V-shaped yoke is going to give more room in the butt. So a lot of the information I give you is stuff you kind of have to put together like a puzzle. You know, and you have to say, okay, what is my body? You need to know your body characteristics, and then pull out the parts that would make things work best for you. So if you are somebody who is straight and you need a modern fit, but you got a booty, you can get there through a straight cut fit or a modern cut fit with a V-shaped yoke. There you go. Hope that helps. All right, let's move on. Number 2 is find your best rise. Rise. Rises are all over the place right now. We are seeing some, I've seen some low-rise jeans come in to stores recently. We are still seeing mid-rise. I think you're always going to see mid-rise, and obviously high-rise is it's been kind of fringy and kind of fashiony for years now, but I think high-rise is really hitting kind of mainstream. But let's talk about if that is the right rise for you. First of all, let's talk about what is the rise, if you missed it on my podcast. That was, I think, episode 12. Okay. A rise is the length from this crotch point where all 4 seams meet, both the front, the back, this leg, they all meet there. That's your crotch point. The length from that to the top of the waistband, that is your front rise. Your back rise is from the same point in the crotch to the top of the back waistband. Almost all jeans have a higher back rise than they do a front rise because your butt goes out, so there's more fabric to cover it. However, if you are curvy and you have issues with, say, the coin slot or the plumber butt, you need a higher back rise. That's what fixes that, is a higher back rise. So another bit of advice I'm always giving people is learn to read clothing descriptions online like it's a food label. So I know Nordstrom posts the back rise of a lot of jeans. So you should know, is the best one for you a 14-inch, a 15-inch, whatever it is. Know your best back rise so you can get the fit that works for you best. Okay, here are just some pictures of different rises. Original rise, I would probably call this like high rise, and this is ultra high rise where it goes way up over the belly button. these two I would consider mid-rise, which is like 1 to 2 fingers below the belly button, and then low rise and ultra low rise. This is where we get into the fact that you can't wear them because you had 2 C-sections. And they're very Britney Spears-esque. I hope we never get back there, friends. All right, so find the best rise for your body, and there's a couple ways that you can use rise. Number one, and this is how I tell people to find their best one, when you're in a fitting room and you put on a pair of jeans, where do you pull it to? Where do you tug it to? Oh, I see this in clients all the time. We're in a fitting room and they pull on the jeans and then they pull them way up. That is your body asking for a higher rise. You know intuitively that you want your pants to go higher. By the way, why do we love high rises? They tuck a lot of stuff in. They can flatten you out. A lot of mid-rise, these two right here, kind of end at a squishier point, and we want to go above that. That's why I think mid-rise is so popular right now. It also gets rid of muffin top. If you have this or this and you've got little extra spillage, go above it. Work with the rise. Okay, so we talked about if you're pulling up your pants, it is your body intuitively asking for a higher rise. Now, I have other clients in the fitting room who have put on their jeans and then shimmied them down their hips a little to sit lower. That is your body intuitively asking for a lower rise. So don't buy that pant and then pull them up or hitch them down or do all that stuff, you know, to make them perfect for you. Just go buy a different rise. Right? Just go buy a different rise. By the way, I want to go back to the muffin top thing for just a second. I have a lot of women who struggle with muffin tops. So what they do is they go up a size because what they think is that it's just too tight. Let's say they're in a mid-rise and it's just too tight. So they want it bigger and then the jean gets bigger everywhere. You cannot fix with size, which is what is actually a problem with shape. Does that make sense? If you've got this extra stuff like right here, putting something bigger over it's still going to go in a little bit. You need to fix the shape, not the size. You cannot use size to fix shape for anything. It never, ever, ever works. Let me give you another example to help you understand what I'm talking about. I love a top that's a little bit longer. You will not find me in any of these crop tops. I struggle with the shorter shirts. So often I'll find a shirt I like and it's just a teensy bit too short. So I'll go, oh, I'll just size up. And then I go get that size. And now what I have is a ill-fitting too big shirt that may be the right length, but it's not right anywhere else. So do not fix with size what is actually a problem with shape. There you go. All right. So that's one reason to buy, to find the right rise is to where it ends on your body and not squishing stuff and all that good stuff. The other thing is to balance out your body. Now, I'm guessing when you started this webinar, you didn't think, hey, I bet I'm going to see pictures of Michael Phelps today. Well, but here he is. Here's the funny thing about Michael Phelps. He's super tall, right? Like 6'4". He has a crazy short inseam. His inseam is only 30 inches, which is really an average inseam for like a guy who's 5'9", maybe 5'10". But obviously he's much, much taller than that. Here he is wearing a low-rise jean. You can tell because they're right here, but he also has his shirt untucked. And his legs look crazy short. However, here he is wearing a higher rise pant, and you can see where his pant ends. His body looks completely balanced. You wouldn't look at that guy and go, dude, why do you have such short legs? You wouldn't say that to Michael Phelps. Well, probably ever, but you know what I'm saying. So if you are somebody who has a long torso and shorter legs, you can make your body look more in proportion by extending the rise of your jeans. The thing is, though, you have to see where the jean ends. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Now, this kid could be wearing, you know, jeans up to here, like Ed Grimley style. You'd never know because his shirt is out here. You can tell because you can see where the jean ends. That trick only works when you can see where the jean ends. That works. A higher rise works if you have a long torso and shorter legs. Now, if you have the opposite issue and you have really long legs and a shorter torso, a high rise is going to make your torso look tiny, tiny, tiny. That is when you are going to want to try a lower rise jean because it's going to make your torso look longer and your legs a little shorter. So there you go. Use your rise to balance out your body, but you got to see where the jeans stop for it to work. Okay. Number 3, pay attention to the pockets. This is what every single person wanted. This is, this is important for jeans. Pockets make or break the rear view. I know she's not in this group, but I just want to thank my client who allowed me to take pictures of her rear end. This is probably my best butt makeover ever. But when she came to me, she hated her bottom half, and she said it was her worst part. She hated her butt. She actually didn't want to spend money on good jeans because she's like, it's just, who cares? They just look, they're not going to look good. I don't want to do it. And I was like, okay, well, let's actually see if we can change that. And we took her from this to this. And basically every single thing we're talking about today, she was doing wrong with her jeans, including buying them too big, lots of other things, but the pockets made such a huge difference. A lot of women with bottom halves they don't love think that they should find the biggest, most basic, darkest jean possible, and it will hide everything. And that's not the case. The reason this jean works is the stitching on the pocket, and this is telling you where to look, whereas this is just kind of like whatever. If you have a bigger rear that you don't want to highlight, put some stuff on it. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but try it. Absolutely try it. Now, a challenge is the trend right now is totally unadorned pockets, but if you can find more contrast stitching, yeah, that will help as a lot as well. So don't just give the big, dark expanse of rear view. Break it up, tell eyes where to go. The other reason this works, and I want you to pay attention, is to how wide set these pockets are from her rear, and how close together these are. So I'm going to talk about that next. Here is my pocket primer, and if you have seen me speak and I've talked about jeans, you have seen this, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through it quickly, and then I'm going to talk about each one. So you ready? A high pocket makes your butt look longer. A small pocket makes your butt look bigger. Wide set pockets make your butt look wider. Tilted pockets make your butt look curvier. Ready? So that is high pockets longer, small pockets bigger, wide pockets wider, tilted pockets curvier. High pockets give long butt. I don't know if you can see this right here, but her butt ends, I'm trying to look at my computer screen, right about here. This is the bottom of her butt, right where my mouse is right now. Do you see how much room there is between the butt and the end of the pocket? This is what gives you mom butt. When your butt looks long, it gives you a mom butt. Here, this is where her butt ends. It ends right at the curve of her booty, so it gives shape. This is what you do to reduce the length of your butt, the length of expansive rear end that you see. So a challenge right now is pockets are a little bit higher and a little bit smaller. But if you can find a pocket that ends right at the end of the curve of your butt, right at where the cheek, and I know everybody's probably like putting their finger there right now to see where that is. If you can find a pocket that hits you right there, it is a golden thing. Okay. Small pockets, I would actually say small pockets and too big pockets make your butt look big. There needs to be a happy medium. I would say these pockets are actually huge and do the same thing, but small pockets will make your butt look bigger every single time. Every time a tiny pocket makes your butt look big. All right, when your pockets are wide set, when they are closer to the outside seam than they are to the inside seam, your whole rear view looks bigger. Right? It looks wider. That's one thing we did here to kind of bring in the visual look. Now, when your pockets are tilted, they make your butt look curvier. Now, everybody right now is going to say, I want, low pocket, low, big, narrow set pockets. But you have to look at what your butt needs and then go from there, right? So, pockets, small pockets. I have a really small butt compared to the rest of my body, so I can have a smaller pocket because it gives me a little bit more amped up booty, right? So don't just assume that small pockets aren't for you. Look at the shape of your body, of your butt, and match that to the right pockets. I can do pockets that are a little bit wider set because if it makes my butt look a little bit wider, it balances out my broader shoulders. a tilted pocket's a great thing. It's going to give me the closest to the J-Lo booty as I'm ever going to get, right? So don't just assume that this is necessarily wrong for everybody. Look at what your butt needs and then act accordingly. Again, though, right now the trend is unadorned pockets that are a little bit higher and a little bit smaller. Good luck with that. It's terrible. Okay, but yeah, I know they're out there. I know good pockets are out there for you. Okay. Number 4, using color strategically. Number 1, first part, find the best wash for your shape. So I think every woman owns a dark skinny because it's slimming. Okay, great, good for you, except is that the best thing for your shape? I'm going to give you an example. I was in Loft a couple years ago, and I was actually buying cords, but they were skinny cords, so they're kind of like jeans. And I found this super cute outfit, and I tried it on. It was really, really, really dark burgundy cords and a blush colored cardigan. And because I am bigger on the top than I am on the bottom, what happened was that really dark color made my bottom half you just even shrink more, and it highlighted my top half, and I looked more unproportioned. What I did then was I went and I tried on the dark burgundy cardigan with the light pink jeans. It made my bottom half recede, made my top half recede, my bottom half pop a little bit more, and straighten me out. So the same thing can be done for jeans. A really, really, really dark wash is hard for me to wear because it makes my bottom half look so much smaller. So if you are somebody who struggles, or has the same challenge, be careful of the very, very dark wash jean. Now, if you are somebody who does not love your lower half and does not want to make that look bigger in proportion to your top half, a dark jean would be good for you. So find the best wash for your shape. Then use whiskering and fading to kind of just a solid pair of dark jeans or any kind of jeans is just a big expanse of fabric, right? So we want to break up that area. We want to break up that just visual, huge, it's the biggest section of your body when you're wearing it. So break that up with whiskering and fading. These color variations can go a long way. So whiskering is kind of the permanent fold lines that you find right at your hips. And fading is the lighter spots of jeans are usually found right along the front of the thigh. Sometimes they're on the back, whatever. But usually they're found right along here. The trick to using whiskering and fading for flattery on your body is to know what it does. This is high contrast whiskering right here. The whiskers are very light and the jean is very dark. This is going to it's going to draw attention to your hips and make them look wider. Now, if that's something that you want for your body or can handle for your body, awesome. If that's not your goal, look for whiskering that is lower contrast. You don't even notice it much, but it breaks up that big expanse. Or look for just a little bit of whiskering, because that can also help just kind of not make your body look big and blocky. Sometimes that's what a big, just solid expanse does. It's kind of almost like putting a print on your jeans. All right, so this is fading. High contrast fading is going to draw attention right here. If you are like, yes, look at my thighs, they are awesome, go for high contrast fading. If you are like, I would prefer you not to look at my thighs, a low contrast fade is actually your best bet. It adds a vertical line right here, but it's super subtle, so you don't really notice it. So use whiskering and fading. Don't feel like you just have to be in plain, dark, unadorned jeans. You can have these things, just know what they do. All right, one of the questions in my Denim Q&A was, what do you want to know? And someone asked about wearing jeans to the office. Dark jeans are always more formal than light jeans. This is an example of pretty much the same outfit. She's got gray blazer, white tee or tank, and jeans and white heels. The one on the left looks way more polished and dressy than the one on the right. I would not wear the one on the right to the office where I would wear the one on the left. So if you are somebody who tends to run toward the dressy, the linchpin of your wardrobe should be a really great dark pair of jeans. If you are somebody who tends to run more casual, the linchpin of your wardrobe should actually be like a light to mid-wash pair of jeans. If you are trying to pair jeans and a dressy top for a more dressed up event, you should probably have a pair of dark jeans in your arsenal, because they're just dressier every single time. Now, the only exception to this would be white jeans that can take on any formality from super casual to super dressed up. So, but if you're heading to the office, I would always wear dark. All right. Understanding the fabric. Oh my goodness. Denim is not what you think it is anymore, friends. And we're going to talk about this, but I really want to talk about the #1 mistake women make when buying jeans. And I bet a lot of you are saying it right now because you've heard me a lot, but if you haven't, you're new, I want to share this with you. Women buy their jeans too big. You're buying them too big. If you are comfortable in a fitting room, your jeans are too big. Why? Because for the most part, jeans stretch. So you're standing in the fitting room, you buy that size, I don't know, 12, because they're super comfy and they look really nice. And then, 2 hours later, 3 hours later, 5 hours later, they are a dumpy, frumpy mess that are falling down and look terrible. And you go, well, what happened to my jeans? What happened was you did not anticipate the stretch. You bought jeans that were perfect as is, not remembering that all jeans, for the most part, we're going to talk about the ones that don't in a minute, all jeans stretch, and you have to anticipate that stretch and buy accordingly. So if this girl, by the way, I pull all these images from Pinterest, and so many times they don't go to something that I can credit. So, it's just pictures of butts. If this girl had bought a size smaller, she would have been in this jean at 5:30 rather than buying this one at 8:30 and ending up in this one at 5:30. So I'd rather have you spend 30 minutes uncomfortable at home while you're getting ready and look amazing the rest of the day versus spending 30 minutes looking amazing and the rest of the day looking like a sloppy mess. By the way, here we can see kind of her lumps, her lovely lady lumps coming out. And I'm guessing a lot of you are like, yes, that's what my jeans do. I bet I should buy jeans with less stretch to them so they won't do this and I don't have to hike them up. No, it's because your jeans stretched out too much. That's what happened. Okay, so that is the stretch. Then you want to maintain the recovery. For the most part, the jeans that you're wearing, we're going to talk about this in the next slide, are not 100% cotton true denim jeans. They are either a stretch denim or they are something that is that looks like a denim that really isn't, and we're going to talk about that. But the recovery on these jeans on most jeans today needs to be maintained. Recovery is the ability for your jeans to bounce back from this 5:30 jean to 8:30 jean, right? We want to get this one back to this. All jeans are going to stretch out. But what happens is when you buy jeans that are too big, from the moment you buy jeans that are too big, you're wrecking them because they stretch out like this. And what do? We throw them in the washer and the dryer to get them back to shape. Recovery in jeans is because of the spandex, the polyester, the elastane, the lycra, whatever the stretchy thing is in there, you're burning it out. Every time you put it in the dryer is too hot to maintain any of that kind of stuff, any of those fabrics. So every time you get this jean back to this jean by putting it in cold water and washing it and throwing it in the dryer, you're burning out that elastic and you're destroying the recovery of the jean. So what do? Well, we buy these jeans a size smaller. They stretch to this. We wash them in cold water and we don't dry them. That brings them back to this shape without burning out the recovery. The recovery of the jeans is why your jeans are sad and dumpy and lumpy within, a few hours. All jeans stretch a little bit. Some jeans stretch more than others. The thing you have to do, and if you've been in a fitting room, I say this to you when you're in the small jeans. I say, you can take these jeans home, wear them with tags on for 2 hours, and then call me and tell me I'm right. Or you can buy the bigger jean that you're comfortable in, wear them around your house for a couple hours, and then call me and tell me I'm right. And then go back to the store and exchange them, right? So every time you buy jeans, every single time, you should wear them around your house for a couple of hours to see how much the stretch is. Every jean's going to stretch out. It just depends on how much. I get people asking me all the time, will this brand stretch? Will this one stretch? Listen, I've got jeans from the exact same brand. Some stretch, some don't. They could be the exact same fabric content. You just never know. So, and some stretch in different places. I always recommend getting the smaller jean, anticipating the stretch, and then you don't have to make a trip back to the store. But there you go. That's my advice. Okay, so another question was why premium is actually worth it. all jeans are not created equal. Even if you have a pair of jeans, two pairs of jeans, one is 100% cotton, one is 100% cotton, the quality of the cotton is not the same. The quality of the premium denim is much, much higher. Also, and we're going to talk on the next slide about different fabric blends, but the quality of what they're blending it with is different. The polyester, the modal, the lycra, they use higher quality materials. There's also more technology in premium denim jeans, and I'm going to show you in just a second. The two jeans I have that do not stretch out at all, guess what? They are the most expensive pairs I have. I don't have to worry about the recovery or if they're going to, can I dry them, can I not? I don't dry them because they don't stretch. They hold up better. They use different materials. Premium denim is one of those things that you get what you pay for. Now, if you want to write me an email and say, but I love my Old Navy Rockstars, that's great. You do you. I'm glad those work for you. I truly, truly, truly am. But the technology and the quality of the cotton, the polyester, all of the materials is so much better in premium. So if you have not tried premium, I really recommend it. Even if you don't want to spend the money on heading to Nordstrom and buying yourself a pair, look for a pair on consignment or clearance or, Poshmark or any of those places. Go to your local thrift store. You can find premium denim jeans there and just give them a try. I've never had a client go back to cheap jeans after premium, but that's, again, up to you. You do what works for you. Okay. What is in your jeans? All right, so again, I want to talk about all the people who say to me, I'm constantly pulling my jeans up. I'm constantly pulling my jeans up. Do I need to find a 100% cotton jean so I don't have to do this? I hear that all the time, and I'm always mystified by it because the stretch is the thing that keeps them from falling down. And the stretch is the thing that keeps them from becoming totally shapeless. So that is not your problem. I guarantee that is not your problem. So here is the inside of a whole bunch of my jeans. Let's talk about what we have here. This is one of my expensive pairs. It's an AG. It is 58% rayon, 20% cotton, 21% cotton, 20% polyester, and 1% polyurethane. That's one pair. And the other expensive pair that I have is 50% rayon, 28% cotton, 21% poly, and 1% spandex. So those are pretty close in composition. This is the jean that I have that stretches out the most. So this is a Page, by the way, that's a AG. This is a Loft boyfriend jean, and it is 100% cotton. And if I put this jean on in the morning, and it's cute, it's, by the way, a boyfriend jean, so it's already a little bit baggy on me, but I put them on in the morning, and then a couple hours later, they're just like falling off because they are 100% cotton, and cotton stretches out. And it has nothing, 100% cotton has nothing to help it keep its shape, whereas this one has polyester and spandex. This one has poly and polyurethane. This one has lyocell. This one has, 1% spandex. This one has 17% poly and 2% spandex. So you can see all these different things. This one has nothing to keep it from stretching out and losing its shape. Nothing. So your 100% cotton jeans are the ones that are going to lose their shape. That's what cotton does. Traditional denim is 100% cotton. That's it. That's what it is. Most of our jeans that we are wearing are not actually true denim. A stretch denim, and I think most of you probably think if you have stretch jeans right now that they are like 2% or 3% spandex and the rest cotton. I guarantee if you look at what your jeans are, they are not that. This is a cut from the cloth. It's 99% cotton, 1% spandex, so it has a little bit of stretch, not much. But if you look at your jeans, your stretch jeans, I guarantee you, or I would bet you, that they are not 2 to 3% spandex or lycra and 98% cotton. That's not what jeans are even made of anymore. Okay, so cotton. It is, what does this stuff do? Cotton's just your basic denim. If it doesn't have any cotton, it's probably not jeans at all. But that's your just basic fabric, or your basic thread. It gives jeans their weight and their structure. Historically, jeans that are 100% cotton are super thick and rigid, and they're kind of like if you took your pants off, they'd sort of stand up for a minute. And that is what jeans were. And now that we've blended them with all these other things, they are a little bit different. Okay, elastane. Elastane is the fiber. Lycra and spandex are the brand names of elastane. So these two are exactly the same thing as this one. This is the generic, these are the brand names. These things add stretch and they aid in recovery. So this one is not going to lose its shape quite as much as this one because it does have a little bit of stretch to it. Does that make sense? So that's what that does. As a matter of fact, if you have jeans that are stretching out and, you know, falling down, all that stuff, you don't need less spandex. You actually need more. Okay, polyester. It adds strength or stretch to your jeans. So it's another stretch fabric. It is strong and durable. This adds quality and strength to your jeans. And it is also wrinkle resistant. I want to point out that these two have the highest, the expensive ones have the highest amount of polyester. It is a way to make jeans stronger and more durable without making them thicker and more rigid. So that's what polyester does. Now this jean, if this jean had flipped the fabric content to #1 rayon, to 50% rayon, 20% cotton, it would actually be the same makeup as this. But because it has so much cotton, it's 50% cotton, they stretch out a lot. Even though there's some of my favorites, but I'm burning the recovery on them because they stretch out so much. Okay, but that's what polyester does. And again, please notice that the expensive jeans are the ones with the most poly in them. Okay, rayon, which is modal and lyocell are types of rayon. So if you see that in your jeans, they are a type of rayon. It does not add stretch or durability, but it adds softness and lightness. So this one that actually has a decent amount of modal and lyocell in it. This is from Ann Taylor. These stretch out terribly, which again is probably the high cotton content. But also they're really lightweight. So someone was asking about summer jeans. If you can find jeans that have rayon or modal or lyocell in them, they're going to be a lighter weight. Yeah, and both of these the high-end jeans are a lot rayon. They're mostly rayon. So that's why they feel so good on your body, is that they are made of that better fabric. Again, if this one just flipped the rayon and the cotton, it would be a much better jean. And I would love it even more than I do. But I have to say that these are clearly the winners in the quality category, and they are the expensive ones. So use that for what it's worth. But remember that I'd love you to look in your jeans and see what they're made out of. Maybe I'm going to do a post in the group and have you post a picture of the makeup of your jeans, of your favorite jeans, and we'll kind of dissect that. So cotton, it is just sort of the base of denim. It stretches, it gives it its strength, durability, structure, all that good stuff. Elastane, that is your stretch, and you need some of that for recovery. Poly is also stretch and recovery, but it adds a strength and durability. So if you are somebody who blows out jeans a lot, look for a jean with a higher poly content. And it is also wrinkle resistant. So it looks nicer, it wears nicer during the day, and then rayon makes it nice and soft and lightweight and not so heavy and rigid. Okay, moving on. Let's tailor our jeans to perfection. It is important that you know and understand that 100% perfect right off the rack is unlikely. The reason for this is that a pattern maker for a company uses one person called a fit model to make their pattern. It is crazy unlikely that this fit model, even when they proportion it out for different sizes, is the same body as you. I mean, when you think about that, you're like, why don't clothes fit me right off the rack? That's why. Because I mean, if you look at a room of 100 women, everyone has, even if they're the same size, everybody's a little bit different. So finding things right off the rack is unlikely. I believe that, if you can't find 100% perfect off the rack, Don't give up and go for 10%. That's what happens for a lot of women. You go, oh, they're not perfect, so screw it, who cares? And then you buy terrible jeans. Don't do that. Let's shoot for like 80 to 90% perfect. I think that that is an absolutely attainable goal. Tailor where you can and accept where you can't, right? Whatever is most important to you, whether it is fitting your belly or it is fitting your butt or it is finding the right rise, whatever is most important to you, go for that 100%. Tailor that to 100%, and then be a little bit, give yourself a little bit of grace on the other stuff. Okay. DIY tailoring. What can you do yourself? Really only a couple of things. You can, unless you can sew, in which case you can do all these things. But what can you do? You can roll your jeans. Rolling your jeans is still a thing. Rolling boot cuts doesn't work very well, or flares. However, you can cut those off and make crop flares, which are kind of cute, and just leave a raw hem. You can also roll your jeans. If you've got skinnies or straight legs, you can put a big cuff on them or you can put a little cuff on them. That's cool. You can also wear a belt. You can add a belt. Now, if you have a ginormous gap in the back and your pants keep falling off, you should not be wearing a belt. You should find jeans that fit you better, right? We should get to that 90%. However, you can finish that 10% with a belt. If you are wearing boyfriend jeans and they're a little bit big and they're falling down, I would not tailor my boyfriend jeans in the waist. I would just wear a belt, right? So those are a couple things you can do. You can roll them, you can add a belt. But if your jeans are so crazy long that you have rolled them and you kind of look like Tom Sawyer, it's time to tailor. If your jeans have such a crazy gap in the back that there's a ton of extra fabric bunched at the back, that is not the time for the belt. So use the DIY stuff to get you from 80 to 100%, not to get from 0 to 30%, because that's where you're going to end up. Okay. Things that are worth tailoring. Tailoring jeans is actually expensive. And it sucks, but I usually build it into the cost of the jean. Like, if I'm sitting there, I go, okay, well, hemming these is going to cost $25 or whatever it is. Do I still love these jeans? And if the answer is yes, then there you go. Things that are worth tailoring. Hemming and shortening a little bit. We're going to talk about hemming a lot in a minute, but hemming to the right length is worth it. Taking in the waist of the jean is worth it. If you buy a curvy jean and it is still not curvy enough for you, girl, you just might be curvier than they make jeans. That's okay. But they can take in that waist so easily. Or if you find a boyfriend jean that you absolutely love, but you have a huge gap in the back, that is a really easy thing to tailor. They can do that very, very quickly. If you really like a skinny jean and you have straight legs that you're not doing anything with, or boyfriend or bootcut jeans that you're not doing anything with, you can have that done very easily. They can alter the seam of the leg pretty easily. Now, it depends on where you go and how much they charge, but I'd always ask. Those are things that can be done pretty easily. Things that are not worth tailoring or can't be done. Number one, they cannot alter the rise of your pants. They just cannot. That is not a thing that can be done. So if the rise isn't right, leave the jeans. Leave them. The crotch of the jean is something that cannot be altered. So if you have a lot of extra fabric in that area, sometimes there's just a cut that is not right for you or a brand that is not right for you. That is not something that tailors can do very, very well. And the rear of the jean, that really requires, because the pocket placement's going to be messed up big time. And they really can't let it out very much. So if the rear doesn't fit you, the crotch is weird, or the rise is off, don't buy the jean. Other things you can tailor fairly inexpensively. Things that are not worth tailoring, letting your jeans out. Letting your jeans out is not worth it. Tailors can put in like a little vent. They usually use a different kind of denim or whatever to add room at the waistband. You can do that. I believe that just adding the waist extender, and I'm talking to my apples here and my super rectangles who are super straight up and down. And if a jean fits you in the waist, it's big everywhere else. You can have the waist of your jean let out. They put in vents. It's expensive. Or you can buy my $7.95 waist expanders that I post all the time. And I'll post them in the group. But it is so much easier. And I know somebody needed reassurance that that's an okay thing to do. And I really can't reassure you on that, because if it's something that you feel weird doing, then you'll always feel weird doing it. And nothing looks worse than a woman who isn't confident in her clothing. However, if you see it as an easy way to tailor your jeans to fit you perfectly, and it's less expensive than the $50 it's going to cost you to have your jeans let out, then I highly recommend doing it. So that is not worth doing it. All right, 2 things I want you to watch out for when you are tailoring your jeans. Number 1 is having them hemmed. And they're both about having them hemmed, but this one is having this hem. Have you ever had a pair of jeans hemmed and then they just put in like a regular stitch and then they felt like jeans for your grandmother? Yeah. When you have jeans taken up, when you have them shortened, you have to ask them to attach the original hem. That is what this is. If you had this jean tailored and you needed it to be here instead of here, they would attach the original hem and cut from the back side. That's exactly what you need done. If you walk into a tailor place and you say, can you attach the original hem? And they look at you like you're crazy, you just walk out, because they don't know how to do your jeans. Now, if you go to Nordstrom, and you know Nordstrom, if you have the card, they give you like $100 in tailor alteration credit a year. This, and a lot of places have free alterations on pants and will hem your jeans. However, if you're at Nordstrom, this is called a tricky hem. Ask them for a tricky hem, and then they know to reattach this rather than screwing up your jeans by just making a stitch line that they usually try and match the denim, and then they look like jeans for grandmothers. Okay. The other thing you have to watch out for when having your jeans shortened is the leg shape, right? So I had a pair of, what were they? Oh, they were my cut from the cloth skinnies, and I wanted to make them ankle pants. So they had them, and they're really long, and my legs are not. So my tailor cut them off and hemmed them to my ankle, and then I had straight leg pants. Because if you just cut off the bottom part too much on a skinny, you're cutting off the part that it gets skinny, and you're going to end up with a wider leg opening. So you have to make sure that they are, and then I had to go back and have them take it in through that area. Does that make sense? So if you are having your jeans shortened considerably, you're going to change the shape of them. Also, like boot cut. If you are having a boot cut jean shortened considerably, they're going to cut off a lot of the boot cut, and then you're going to have a very strange straight leg / boot cut hybrid, and you don't want that. So if you've got to do like more than probably 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, you need to look for a petite jean, a short jean, a different jean, because that's just going to look bizarre. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Let's move on. Find the right shoe for the right shape. I know this was a big one as well, so let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about the jean shapes that I want to talk about. Skinny. Skinny is, it's skinny. It is fitted through the hip, thigh, waist. It's fitted from the waist through the ankle. It is narrow through the entire leg. It is a skinny jean. A straight leg jean fits like a skinny to about mid-thigh, and then it does not go in as much. So it pretty much hangs straight. Now between those, a skinny and a straight is probably a slim leg, but you can use the shoe rules for the straight leg for the slim leg. But that's it. It's kind of a skinny through here, but through the leg, it gets a little bit roomier. Straight leg is a great option for women who feel too exposed in a skinny. Okay, boyfriend. A boyfriend jean is, if you stole your boyfriend's jeans, where would they be baggy? And it's right here. That's where they're baggy. They're relaxed through the hip, thigh, and crotch and seat area. They're just relaxed. A girlfriend jean is a boyfriend jean that is a little bit narrower. You'll also see them called slim boyfriends. Do what works best for you. If you are somebody who already deals with extra bagginess on the bottom, like some rectangles, some apples, a boyfriend jean can be really overwhelming, and you should either size up in a skinny to get the same kind of effect, or look for a slim boyfriend or a girlfriend. Now, if you are somebody who has extra in this area, a boyfriend is probably a great cut for you. A boot cut or a flare. It is fitted through the thigh, and it starts to get bigger through right from under the knee. And really the difference between a boot cut and a flare is the angle that this is cut. Flare is flare actually starts a tiny bit lower, probably right below maybe mid-calf, and it is at a little bit more severe angle, but that is what a boot cut jean is. It was meant for cowboys to be able to put their boots under. So let's talk about shoes. Skinny jeans, first of all, really, I was going to say all of them can wear all of them, but they really can't. Skinny can wear flats, and this is sandals too. I'm talking about kind of the heel height here. They can wear flats. You can wear flats with skinnies. You can wear heels with skinnies. You can wear booties. You can wear sneakers. You can wear boots. The reason skinnies have been so popular is that you don't have to change your pants to change your shoes. That is why this has had so much staying power. I'm convinced of it. The thing about skinnies is that you want to see skin, no sock. Does that make sense? So with a flat, and a lot of my older clients do this, they wear skinny jeans with trouser socks and flats. No, we don't do that. So you want to see skin, not sock. I think that's one of the challenges of skinnies is they look really weird with socks. Again, heels, you want to see skin. Booties, and pretend it's a flat boot or a heeled boot, doesn't matter. You want the top of it, if you're tucking it in, to really go in, right? It should be tight enough to the leg. It shouldn't do that kind of half in, half out, slouching and doesn't fit under the boot or over the boot. Your skinny jeans should never come over the boot. You should see, it should rest, if you're rolling it up, just a little bit, like a tiny little sliver of skin right here. I personally like a sock with booties and jeans. I think it looks really cute. It has to be intentional. I'm not talking about your, white comfy gym socks. I'm talking about a cute pattern, a cute color, a pop of something. I like that in, a rolled up skinny, just showing a little bit. Sneakers, again, you don't really want to see sock. You just want to see a little bit of skin. You can roll these up. You don't want your skinnies to be slouchy. Do you remember this last picture we had right here? This is not how skinnies should look. Frankly, this is not how any jean should look. The fold of your jeans when it meets the foot is called the break, right? And we're going to talk about break in a minute, but this is not a break. This is slouch. This amount of slouch, and girls, I see this on your jeans and pants all the time, which is why I'm talking about it. It makes you look shorter and dumpy. Get rid of the slouch, the gathering, all that pooling at the bottom of your pants, because it is not doing you and your outfit any favors. Okay. Calm down, Jennifer. All right. So you can wear them. Boots, obviously you're going to tuck the jean into the boot. That's why skinnies are so easy. Should not have any real break here. Should not have any slouching at all. Skinnies look best when they hit right about the ankle bone, I think. You can roll them to that. You can cuff them, whatever. Why do I do that? I got to stop touching things. Okay. Straight leg jeans. We're going to go over here. Straight leg jeans should not really break over your foot. If there's a tiny quarter break, and by the way, you can find a lot more information on break if you're looking at men's clothing sites. So you can look up what a quarter break, a half break, a full break is if you want. When you're wearing a straight leg jean, it should have at most a tiny, tiny break. No slouching, no pooling, no full breaks on those. Can you wear flats? Absolutely. Can you wear heels? Absolutely. Can you wear booties? It is tricky. The reason it is tricky is that the leg of the jean needs to come down over the boot. And if the booty is at all, thick or baggy or doesn't fit close to the ankle, it's going to get caught on there and it doesn't look cute. Can you wear sneakers? Yes, you absolutely can. If you are somebody who wants to wear socks with their, socks and shoes and all that stuff, you're better off in a straight leg with a sock and a shoe that has a higher vamp. This is the vamp, this part that comes down like a loafer. Even I'm thinking of like Dansko clogs and things like that come up higher on your foot, because you really don't want to see sock. Even if you see a cute little something poking out, you should not see a whole foot full of socks. So straight leg jean that doesn't break over the foot much, shoe, higher vamp. There you go. So can you wear booties? Yes. And can you wear sneakers? Yes. Can you wear boots? You're going to get piratey right around here. And I call it piratey when you have this billowing happening right here. So, I know that there are 87 million pictures on Pinterest of how to put socks over pants so you can tuck them into boots, and okay. But I'm guessing that you probably have a pair of skinnies that just work better. So there you go. Boyfriend or girlfriend. They are so cute with flats, with heels, with booties, with sneakers. They don't really work with this. Now, you can have a higher booty that goes up underneath a little bit. Then you got to follow the same rules as straight, that they're not getting caught on there. Boyfriend always look better when they're rolled up. They always look better simply because when they're down, they're just kind of like a way too big straight leg. They need this, they need the roll at the bottom to kind of give them a little bit of, give them a little bit of structure. Sorry. And rein in some of that volume. Okay. Boot cut and flare, we talked about where they are. Can you wear flats? Can you wear all these things? All right. Boot cut, I know they've had their moment, but they are having a moment. They are so much harder to change your shoes with. So back when this was, you know, boot cut jeans were really the thing, which would have been like 2003, 2004-ish. I was working for a high-end boutique, and we were selling all of the, you know, ultra low rise, Britney Spears, low rise boot cut, all that stuff. Women would buy 2 to 3 pairs of the exact same jean, to hem for different pairs of shoes. Now, if you're thinking, gosh, I haven't hemmed a pair of jeans in a long time. Yeah, probably since skinnies came in, because you can just self-tailor with rolling them up a little bit or tucking them in or whatever. But boot cuts are different. When your boot cuts are pooling over your shoes and you are having that whole slouchy extra fabric right there, it looks terrible. When your jeans are dragging on the ground, they look terrible. When your jeans are too short and you're seeing the full shoe, they look terrible. So boot cuts are really, they're just a little bit more persnickety than, you know, our skinnies, our boyfriends, or our straights, which is, I think, was why these have had such a moment. But couple of things to keep in mind about boot cut. Number one, your jeans should be hemmed to 1/4 to 1/2 inch off the floor, with whatever shoe you're wearing. So if you have this one, it should be 1/4 to 1/2 inch off the floor. If you have this one, it should be 1/4 to 1/2 inch off the floor, which is why women had to buy multiple jeans and have them hemmed for different shoes. So you probably have heard me saying in the last couple of years that boot cuts really need a heel to get off the ground, and I still believe that, and it gets rid of that slouchy issue. If you are tailoring your boot cuts for flats, you can do it. If you are tailoring them, you know, for the booty that you want to wear, you absolutely can do it. They actually work really well. If you're tailoring them for sneakers so that you are not just having this huge pool of fabric over, you know, a worn out sneaker, absolutely go for it. It's antithetical to the advice I've been given for the last couple of years, but it's how things are being worn today. So my advice is changing with it. But it still doesn't change the fact that you can't be dragging on the ground and pooling over your shoes. So go for your boot cuts, but just understand that they require a little bit more care. Okay, that is the right shoe for your body shape, or for the right shape jean. Okay, moving on. Your Q&As. All right, here we go. These are questions that I didn't really feel like I have answered fully enough in the webinar, and so I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. Any tips for dark denim that continues to leave stain on hands despite many washes and wears? Absolutely, I got tips. That's what I do here. Okay, so the technical term for this is crocking. Like a crock pot, it's called crocking. And crocking is when dye, usually indigo, transfers from one thing to another. Step one is to check the crock level in a store before you buy them. Know if they're gonna crock. The best way to do this is with a white piece of paper, and I will tell you that thermal, like receipt papers, work even better. Rub them on the jean. So when you're in the fitting room, if you got an old receipt in your purse, rub it on the jean. If it comes back super dark blue, that jean is gonna crock. All of these jeans have been washed before they come to you, so this is what's going to happen after. So obviously this isn't your question, but you know, those dark jeans that do crock a little bit, you want to bring them home and you want to wash them. By the way, you should always wash your jeans inside out for a few reasons. But one is to protect color, and the second is that jeans, washing is hard on your clothes, and when you wash things inside out, the clothes, the items themselves don't take as much abuse. So if it's Crocs, don't turn them inside out. Normally you would. Don't turn them inside out because you're going to get as much of that color out. If you're going to wash them with other things, use those little color catcher squares, but I would just wash them alone. If you have a dark denim jean, especially one that has crocked on a piece of paper or a receipt in your purse before you bought it, I would do a vinegar soak and soak them overnight in a vinegar cold water mixture, and that should help set the color, then wash them again. There are some that despite what you do, they're going to keep doing it. And that's kind of where your question is at. And you have two options. Number one, wash them in hot water. And normally I would never tell you to wash them in hot water, but the idea is to pull out any extra dye. It could fade them, which it probably will because you're going to pull out any dye that isn't heavily saturated into the fibers. But it's probably your best hope for getting them to stop crocking. And if you don't want to do that, then your choice is decide whether these jeans are worth it or not, because there are some that are just going to do it. So I would wash them. I would, even with the jeans that you have that you've worn multiple times, I do the vinegar soak. And then if they keep doing it, I would wash them in hot, see if you can pull all that extra denim or all that extra indigo dye. And if those two don't work, then that's just the way those jeans are, and you have to decide if they're worth it. Okay. How do you avoid the button showing on the shirt / seeing the jean line? Well, these are two different things, because I think of the button showing on the shirt, that is actually like a I don't know, geometric issue, like a texture of the little button point thing sticking out, or seeing the jean line is seeing the color. I could be wrong on these questions, but that's kind of what I took away. How do you avoid, let's talk about the second one first. Like if you're wearing a sheer shirt and you see the jean line, I have so many clients that in the fitting room, they're like, I can see the line in my pants, and they won't buy the shirt. You can not buy the shirt. You can wear a cami. You can give a half tuck. It's funny, when you give a half tuck right in front, all of a sudden you don't see the line right there, and then people are like, oh, it's gone. Okay, good enough. If we're talking about the actual physical button showing through, like making that point and changing the shape, then you can wear a shirt that is not as fitted. You can wear a shirt that is woven, or you can put something over it to cover it, like a belt. Now, if you have a belt with a big buckle, you're trading one problem for another. I would do like an Invisibelt, like one of those flat buckle belts, and that will hopefully hold it down. I did a little research on this, and there's this funny little, like it looks kind of like a big wide money clip, and it fits right over that. And if this really bothers you, I'd go ahead and do a search for that and get one of those. But I find an Invisibelt just helps to smooth that whole area. All right, when focusing on getting higher quality, fewer pairs, what style should we start with? Skinny, crop, boyfriend, etc. That's a great question. And I just put these in here. I didn't take the time to really think about some of them. So you know, it really depends. I could say that I think a dark wash skinny is really an important part in everybody's wardrobe, and then I will have somebody say to me, I don't wear skinny jeans. So I think it's really what works for you. I mean, if I think about the capsule and what pieces that I've reused, that dark skinny has been a huge piece. However, with styles changing, will it continue to be? I don't know. I would say whatever jean you love the most, that is the one that you should buy premium, right? Like the Dre, I forget, Rag and Bone Dre, it's a boyfriend style. It is the best boyfriend out there. And, you know, to spend $150 on it, you know, if you bought that thing 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when we started seeing boyfriend jeans come on, that would have been a really, really great investment, right? If you love your boyfriend jeans, that would have been a great investment. So I would say I don't wear crop jeans. I don't think that's a great investment, but I always think, you know, where should you spend in your wardrobe is highly dependent on what you need and what you wear. Yeah. I know I hate my non-answers. I hate my non-answers as much as you guys do. Trust me, I truly do. But that is really, really true. But if you are a person who does not want to change out all your shoe collection, and you do not want, you know, to start hemming jeans, I still think that a skinny jean will be a good investment. Okay, when standing, jeans fit perfectly. When sitting, they cut into my waist. and you mentioned in your, I think this was a list that you mentioned in your question that you Googled it, and this is the problem a lot of people have. I would change two things. I would change the rise of your pants, and I would also change the fabric content of your pants, and see if you can find something that does have a higher stretch and poly content and a higher rise. And I would love to hear if that helps, because the reality is everybody's belly expands when they sit down. I mean, unless you're wearing an elastic pant, it's going to happen a little bit. The idea is that it's as minimal as possible. It's funny, I watch people in fitting rooms, and most people, when they sit down in jeans, they pull them up a little bit to get over the tummy. So what that tells me is just buy a jean that goes over the tummy, and that would be a high-rise jean. So play with the rise and also play with the fabric content and see if you can find a stretchier jean. Okay. More Q&As. Specific verbiage to use when shopping. Are there words that they get that I am not familiar with? Listen, all I can do is teach you the words and teach you what to look for. I have zero control over what employees know. I mean, you would think that a curvy jean, people would understand what that means, but if their employer is not teaching them what curvy is, then they don't know. And if they don't work in a place that labels jeans that way, they won't know. So that's why I teach you this, so you can go and you can do all of this without having to ask somebody for a curvy jean. Now you know how to look at it and tell if it is. So no, there is no specific verbiage. Everything that I have taught you today and shared with you, those are the words. If they know them or not, I got no control. All right, with more flared styles popular again, where should the flare start on your leg? Below the knee, below the knee. It should not be below the knee to kind of like top of the calf. I mean, there's, maybe a couple of little inches in there. It should not start like mid-calf or lower. That happens when you have tailored a jean, cut a boot cut off and change the shape of it. Okay. Is distress still in? Yes. But do you like it? That's the bigger question. Okay. Are skinny jeans headed out? What cut is most in style, or do we dress for what looks best on us? I'm going to answer the last question first, which is, yeah, that's exactly what you should be doing, is dressing for what looks best on you and what you like the most. I don't know, maybe boot cut are more slimming on me or more flattering on me than skinny. I really like skinny jeans, so I'm going to go ahead and wear those. So maybe that answers both questions, but are skinny jeans headed out? Skinny boot cut is coming back. It's having a moment again. It's trending upward, whereas skinny is trending downward. But I think what people haven't fully embraced is this idea of in versus out is really dead. There is nothing, I mean, boot cut jeans, most people say, oh, boot cuts are out. I could buy boot cuts every day of my life for the last 10 years. Whether they were the most popular jeans or not, they were still there. And if there were people who were still wearing them and still loved them and still look great in them, it's just that they weren't at the top of the trend cycle, right? So are skinny jeans headed out? I would say their popularity is in decline, but they're not out. It takes a really long time for something to be out. Do this little thing with me while you're sitting there. I want you to think of a fashion trend that is out, just totally out. And I want you to think about when that was actually popular. It probably wasn't popular like in the last 5 years or 6 years. You probably had to go back pretty far to identify something, clearly identify something that is out. Like it's probably from like the early 2000s, right? It wasn't something like, oh, burgundy was so last year, nobody's wearing that anymore. So that's my long answer again to a short question. But are skinny jeans headed out? They're declining in popularity. Boot cuts are climbing in popularity, and you should dress for what looks best on you. All right, do I have anything else? I do, bonus. Okay, this is my last slide and then you get to go. All right, the first thing you should do, let's say you go, okay, I need to shop for jeans. I need a great pair of jeans. The first thing you should do is look at what you like and don't like about the jeans you already have. Go and say, okay, well, this is my favorite pair of jeans. Why? What about them do you like? Then I want you to apply the information you just learned to figure out why you like what you like and how to use that information to fix what you don't like. Look at the rise, look at the yoke, look at the fading, look at the whiskering. If it is your favorite pair of jeans, why? If it is your least favorite pair of jeans or a pair of jeans you hate, you know, they fit you, but they just don't. Look at all of that stuff and figure out how to fix that. What would you change on it to make it better? All right. So that is before you hit the store, do that. Number 2, clarify your needs. I see women all the time who need one good pair of dark jeans, buy 10 pairs of mid-wash jeans. Okay, what is it you need? Do you need that staple that you can wear with everything? Or do you need a pair of jeans that gives your wardrobe a little bit of life and, you know, maybe it's distressed, maybe it's something different and fun. Clarify your needs so that you don't walk into the store and buy the same dang thing you've been buying for 5 years. All right? Use what you learned today to be selective before going into the fitting room. Again, my goal in life, one of them, is to stop you from taking armloads of stuff that, I don't know, maybe it could work. Okay, well, I don't know, it's a jean, I'll try it. All that kind of stuff. I want you to hone in on the things that really have a good chance of working for you. And then you go into the fitting room to solidify that, to check your work, basically. I always say going into a fitting room for me is basically checking my work. I know my color, I know my neckline, I know this, I know that, but I go to the fitting room to check my work and make sure that what I thought was going to work actually does. That's what you should be doing. You should be doing your research out on the floor, and then you should go into the fitting room to check for, to really kind of solidify things, make it perfect, sizing, all the little variables that you can't tell from the floor. You should ask for help. Now, I know I just said a couple slides ago that a lot of people don't know anything about clothes, even those who work with clothes, but they are your best allies. And you know, maybe they don't know the difference between curvy and not curvy and all these other things, but you know, if you can say, do you have high-rise jeans? Ask for help. Okay, well, that's lovely. Anyway, just ask for help one time. But if you can use them to cut down on your searching, if you can go and say, I want a really high rise in a size 10, I bet they can pull that for you. The other thing they can do for you is work for you in the fitting room. This is where sales happen. They're in the fitting room. This is where you find good, you make decisions in the fitting room. When they take you back there, when they put you back there, say, can you come and check on me? I don't want to leave the fitting room. And then you use the knowledge you have, because now you have more knowledge than they do. I need a higher rise. I need a lower rise. I need, you know, a smaller size, a bigger size, whatever it is. That's what they're not there to help you pick things out. They don't know, but they can run back and forth for you. That's what they're there for. Okay, wear or bring the right shoes. Wear or bring the right shoes. If you are looking for a pair of jeans to wear to work and you know you're going with a dark boot cut, bring a little heel like you would wear with them so you can see how they would look. It is very hard to tell when you're like in your running shoes how a pair of dressier jeans look. Okay, now contrary to what I said before, but I'm going to explain myself, take as much as you can into the fitting room. Now, this is different. I don't want you grabbing random crap and I don't know, it's a jean, so I'll just try it on. Maybe I'm a 2, maybe I'm a 12, maybe I'm a this, maybe I'm a curvy, maybe I'm a straight. That is the stuff that you figure out on the floor. And then when you say, okay, I need a curvy size 10, right? Or I think that a curvy high rise would work good for me. Then I want you to take 3 colors of that curvy high rise. I want you to take 3 sizes of that curvy high rise. I want you to take the same jean in a mid rise. I want you to use your knowledge to narrow it down and then collect a lot of that stuff, because you will get less tired and you will have better luck if you have a ton of stuff in the fitting room to try on. It's just easier than having to go back and forth and back and forth. And when you have them there in the fitting room, you can compare, and that's when the magic happens, when you say, do I like this one better? Do I like this one better? So once you've narrowed down to what you think will work for you, then you take a ton of stuff. You don't just start grabbing random things. You take a lot of targeted things into the fitting room, especially sizes. And I put rinses and washes should be on there as well. Every wash, different denim, when it's dyed, reacts differently. So you're going to find that dark wash jeans are stretchier than light wash jeans. You're going to find that white jeans are actually more spandexy than dark jeans. So don't just assume, by the way, if you go into Loft and you are a size 8 modern, that you can go pull every size 8 modern in every wash and that they are the same. That is checking your work, right? You've narrowed it down and then you check your work. So that's all I got for you guys. All right, I'm going to put a couple of posts into the group for you to answer. And I hope that this gave you a ton of jean knowledge and that you are ready to go buy the best jeans of your life. And we're going to have a post in the fall community group. I hope you're in there, about have you found really, really good jeans? So that is what we're going to focus on, is finding perfect jeans. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you have questions, you can ask questions about this as long as you've watched it. And if you're hearing this, you have, until the last Q&A. So I look forward to answering any questions you have. Have a fantastic day. I will catch you later.